Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Kind of a mini relaunch on my shipping channel here. I decided not to do the whole 10 items because it was becoming just kind of redundant and slowing me down in my overall shipping. And we ship a lot of stuff out every single day, and it was just taking a bit too much time. And my camera kept overheating trying to do 10 items at a time. So what we're going to do, we're going to slim it down. 3 items. And items that I think, either are bolos or be on the lookout for items, and or just interesting ship items, how to ship certain items. So try to do like breakables and stuff like that, and how I ship them and get them safely. Okay, so we have 3 items here on the table right now. We have a hat. This Chick-fil-A hat sold for $14. And I would highly recommend picking up, store hats, be it from Chick-fil-A, Chipotle, we have a local supermarket named Lucky's. I've sold all that stuff before. It doesn't sell for crazy amounts, so you have to get it pretty cheap. This hat I picked up for $2, so I would recommend getting these, this company branded stuff, especially like in the restaurant world. Even some like GameStop stuff have sold. Get it, $2-3, under $5, because it's not going to sell for very much, but it will sell. So $14 for a Chick-fil-A hat. This digital camera I picked up this was $2 here, and it's a Casio. The model number is EXZ33. This is a definite digital camera to look out for. Or you should definitely be looking out for this digital camera. Mine sold for only $20, and the reason is because I was unable to test it. I don't have a battery charger. It doesn't charge by USB. You would need a separate little square device to plug this into to charge this battery. But it does have the battery, which is great, which is a selling feature. And I only picked it up for $2, so $2 and the $20. If I was able to test it, it was working, it would go for about $50. And then the other part here is this. It's like a little casserole dish or serving dish. There's the company's Staub. It's on the back. Just a nice, well-made, not porcelain, it's more like ceramic made tomato. So it's a tomato casserole dish. I don't think this is for baking, but it feels pretty thick, so it might be for baking. Pick these up for, I think these are right around $3.50. I've got 2 of them. It is like an heirloom tomato style, and this sold for $29. So let's go ahead and get to shipping. So for the hat, we're going to use a hat box, a box I buy specifically for hats, but they have multiple purposes. 9x7x5. This is a Uline box. I get most of my supplies from Uline. However, I recently discovered a new bubble wrap supplier that will save me, it's like 2.7 cents per foot. I know it's only a few cents, but every cent counts when you're shipping. Okay, the hat's going to this. This guy here is going to get bubble wrapped and is going to go in one of these. Small Uline bubble wrap mailer. I use these larger sizes. You could get smaller sizes, but I prefer this size just so it's noticed in the post office. Not that much more expensive. I did have an issue where a package wasn't scanned in initially, and since I've moved to these, I've never had a problem. Knocking on wood. Look at, there's wood down here. Okay, there we go. So we're getting that out. Then we have the pottery, which we're going to use the hat box I just showed you. And so 9x7x5, because this is not too tall, and it's not too long, and we don't want to use a large box where the item is going to be shaking or moving around in transit. Okay, so those are the 3 items we're going to be boxing up today. Let me get my scissors here out of the way. First, we'll start off with the easy one, the hat. We don't need any packaging for this. This is not going to break in transit. What we're going to do... And the reason why I put the hats in boxes like this is because we don't want it to lose its shape. If you put it in just like a bubble mailer or a poly mailer, it will get, squished, and it could potentially lose its shape. More than likely it'll lose its shape. But there's nothing else we need to do to the box other than tape it up. Tape we get from eBay for signing up with an eBay store. You get a credit, and I just use that credit for tape. This should be, just under 10 ounces. So when you do it this way, depending upon what kind of hat it is too. Some hats are more, weightier than others, but this is super light. Okay, and we have 7.2 ounces, so we're going to round up to the next ounce, which makes it 8 ounces. Okay, I'm going to go get a label for this, and we'll move on to the next items. Okay, next item we're going to ship out is this camera. Again, I sold it for parts because I couldn't test it out. It does have the OEM or the battery that it came with there, which is a good selling point. If it didn't have the battery, I probably would have had to sell it for less, but it does. It should work. I mean, everything looks great on it. There's no cracks on the screen or anything, but we're still going to wrap it pretty well, even though I sold it for parts. And make sure you save all your excess bubble wrap. If you cut it up, save the excess pieces. It can come in handy for packaging or filling voids in packaging, so nothing moves around in shipping. So we're going to just, wrap that. Typically what I do in this instance, depending upon, if it's, how delicate it is, I'll take the bubble wrap here. This is, I get it 12 inches by 750 feet. I wrap it in half so you get a double bubble, and then proceed to wrap. And then cut off any excess that, you don't want just a whole bunch hanging off the edge. I mean, that's kind of useless. It's not going to really do too much. So I just cut off the excess, keep it, in case, if I sell like a Lego minifigure, I have a little bit of bubble wrap to wrap that up in. So, okay, we got this one here. We got to weigh the total package. So let's put this in here. So we got to get a label. We got to put the. There we go. And the total weight with the packaging is 4.5 ounces. So we're going to go ahead and round up to 5 ounces total for that package. I'm going to go get a label, and I'll be right back. Okay, now the next item we're going to ship out is this tomato casserole dish. I'm just calling it a casserole dish. Okay, so first off, because this is going to take a little bit more effort, a little bit more work to ship this out than the previous two. We're going to first build our box here. Again, this is a 9-inch by 7-inch by 5-inch. Comes from Uline. Okay. Usually one single line of tape will be good, unless the item's really heavy. Then I'll double up the tape. We're going to be using some box filler here, probably just some packaging paper. I'm going to need some more bubble wrap because that's not enough really to cover that whole thing. Make sure you have plenty of shipping supplies. Bubble wrap. I keep packaging paper. You could use peanuts, but I just personally don't like peanuts because they just get everywhere. Make sure you have boxes around. You can get your boxes, order them like me from Uline or from another supplier, maybe on Amazon. Uline for me is the cheapest. Okay, so this is what we're going to do here. We're going to wrap this. And what we're going to do is, make sure I'm getting this in the frame, first of all. So what we're going to do, we're going to wrap this like this. Now what we do not want to happen is, very important that you do not put two breakable pieces. It could be, pottery. It could be glass. You don't want to put two breakable pieces together without any protection in between them. And the reason is because as it's shipping, it's going to be moving around. So that constant clanking could cause cracks or chips in the product. So you always want to make sure you have some sort of barrier between one breakable piece and the other breakable piece. I'm going to flip it upside down so that this part here isn't just sticking up against the box. This is a potential breakable piece here. Easily breakable, even with packaging. So I'm going to flip it upside down to provide a little bit more protection there. Okay. And then what I'm going to do is take another piece of bubble wrap here, And this is, I'm just going to fold it in quads. Fold it into a quad piece, so it's 4 layers. Put it right there on top. Don't think we really need to do that, but just to be safe. Boom. 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 Okay, look at that. So it has, so the top part, which I'm going to put on down, I'm going to face it down, has about 6 layers of bubble wrap. The bottom part, which is going to be facing up, and there will be some packaging material on there, has 4 layers of bubble wrap. So my thinking behind that is because I'm going to put the label on top, I want the bottom part, which is primarily going to be, you know, like hitting the grounds, to have the most protection. We want to make sure the sides are protected in case there's any jiggling this way. So I just want to make sure there's good protection all the way around. And we're going to cut at least 4 layers of bubble wrap on a product like this, all the way around. Okay. And again, we're using, you could say, we'll get a bigger box and put more packaging material, but then again, you run the risk of your item actually jiggling around in transit, and you don't want that. Okay. You want it to be secure in there. Okay, just tape up the edges so nothing slides out. Okay. Alright, so there we go. So, as you can see, you cannot see anything where I put the lid. There's 6 layers of bubble wrap there, 4 layers here, and you can still kind of see the outline on the bottom. But that's okay, because that's going to go on top. I'm still going to lay down some packaging paper on the bottom. Lay down some packaging paper on the bottom. Get our product in there. You put packaging paper around the edges here, like so. Trying to fill in these spaces here. I'm going to fill in all these spaces with packaging paper. Go. There we go. Okay. And then we're going to put some packaging paper over it just to fill in these voids. And probably that protection on top as well too. Okay, now that's not going anywhere. It's a nice little solid box. Take that down. There we go. So that's all packaged up and ready to go. Packaging paper is, as far as the cost goes, is cheaper than bubble wrap. Bubble wrap generally comes in. I found a cheaper supplier, so I'm going to go through that. Should be right around, I think it's going to be around 4 to 5 cents a foot. And before it was closer to like 8 cents a foot. So, or closer to 8 cents. So we get a little bit cheaper on the bubble wrap. The packaging paper doesn't really cost too much. Your boxes are going to be your biggest expense. These boxes here are under $1. I think it's about 60 cents for these boxes. But then again, you know, I order in bulk, so I get, you know, a better deal when you order in bulk. If you order just 1 box at a time, or just 2 or 3 boxes at a time, you're going to end up paying more per box. So, highly recommend get your shipping supplies. To get your shipping supplies as cheap as possible, order as many as you can per order. Okay, I'm going to get a label for that one, but those are the 3 items I wanted to highlight for this video. Let me know what you guys think of this new content. It's a little more like Bolo style, a little more, hopefully a little more informative. than my previous videos, because that was just rolling through them all and becoming redundant and just becoming a little too slow for me, and how, you know, I gotta get shipments out. Alright guys, we'll catch you on the next one. I forgot to weigh this item. So this will be the end of the video. 2.36 ounces, 2 pounds, 3.6 ounces. So we round up to the next pound. So it's going to be a total of 3 pounds for that. So if you had any more, you know, space in there to have packaging material, you have to round it up to 3 pounds. So you could always add more packaging material in there. Okay, but now that's the end of the video.